Writing, solving, and graphing two-step equations and inequalities. Students will know if a verbal description is referring to an equation or an inequality. Couple of reminders. Equations have a definite total or amount, and they usually use the word equal. Inequalities use terms such as greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, at least, no more than, maximum, minimum, below, and above. This list will continue. Please refer back to your notes, your inequality notes from Friday. That video is listed in Canvas. Also, a quick reminder that if you have the less than or equal to symbol, your circle on the graph will be colored in. And if you have the greater than or equal to symbol, your circle will be colored in on your graph. If you just have the less than symbol, you will have an open circle. If you have greater than, you will have an open circle. And also remember, this arrow tells you which direction you're going to graph your line on the graph. So if the arrow, the little part of the arrow is pointing to the left, your graph is going to continue to the left for less than. If it's greater than, your arrow is going to go to the right. Okay, looking at your questions on your notes that are in front of you, question number 1 says that Marlene spends a total of $58 at the bookstore. She purchases 4 books of equal price and spends an additional $4 on sales tax. Will this situation be represented by an equation or an inequality? Since we know the total that Marlene spends, that tells us that we are going to represent this with an equation. And then it says to explain. The reason that we're going to use an equation is because of the word. So basically, we're going to be looking for keywords. So the reason is because the word total is listed. Now it is saying to write an equation, not an inequality, because we've already determined that we're going to be writing an equation, to determine the cost of each book, B is standing for book, that Marlena purchases. So we need to write an equation, just like we have been doing in the past. We're going to do mx plus b equals y. And if you'll remember, m is our rate with x next to it, plus b, which is our initial value, equals y, which is going to be our total. So we know that she purchases 4 books of equal price and spends an additional $4 on sales. So this 4 books is going to be our rate. So we're going to have 4x plus our additional $4, additional and adding mean the same thing, additional $4 that she spent on sales tax is going to equal the total amount that she paid. We have a definite total amount. We know that she paid exactly $58 at the bookstore. Now we're going to solve this equation. We are going to go over here where the variable is, and we're going to undo the number that's by itself. We call this number the constant. So we're going to subtract that number to get rid of it from the left-hand side of the equal sign. And then we're going to bring this zeros out. We're going to bring down 4x equals 58 minus 4, which gives us 54. Now we need to divide by 4. So x equals 54 divided by 4 is going to give us 13.5. So this is our total answer. We know the exact amount. So if you look on this number line down here, use the number line below to represent the solution to the equation. That's what we used. We don't need inequality. Written. Our equation is, our answer to our equation is 13.5. So this circle right here, we're going to fill it in because it's exactly 13.5. And if you look at the number line, we have 10, 11, 12, 13. This would be 14 and this is 15. And halfway between 13 and 14 is 13.5. Since we graphed an equation, we just have a single solid dot. This is showing us what the answer is to this situation, equation into this situation. Number 2, Travis studies and reads for at least 16 hours per week. He studies an equivalent number of hours each night, 5 nights per week. He reads 4 hours per week. Will this situation be represented by an equation or an inequality? It's going to be an inequality because it says he reads and studies for at least 16 hours. If you look back at your notes from Friday, the word at least means greater than or equal to. So this at least is under greater than or equal to. Sorry for the sloppy handwriting. Greater than or equal to, which is going to look like this. So we know that our inequality, it's going to be an inequality because of the word at least, or words at least. And we know from using our notes from Friday that are in your journals that at least means greater than or equal to, and it's going to look like this. That's the symbol we're going to be using. Now, when we write this inequality, to determine the number of hours that Travis studies each week, we're going to use this symbol. And we're also going to follow the same format that we follow when we wrote the equation on number 1. We're going to do mx plus b, only now we're going to replace the equal sign with the greater than or equal to sign. Okay, so everything over here is going to be greater than or equal to this total value. So our inequality that we're going to have is, our rate is 5 nights per week. So we're going to have 5x plus, he reads 4 hours per week, just 4 hours. He doesn't read any more than 4 hours. That kind of looks like it could be a rate also. But if you think about it in real life terms, it wouldn't be a rate. This is 5 nights per week, and we're trying to figure out how many hours he studies. And so we're going to be finding that for at least 16 hours. So this would be our total. We're going to solve this the exact same way that we solve our two-step equation. So we're going to subtract 4. We get 5x. When we subtracted this 4, we just took it away from this side. Greater than or equal to 12. 16 minus 4 is 12. Then we're going to divide both sides of the inequality by 5. And we get x is greater than or equal to 2.4. That's the solution to that inequality. Then I can go over here and use the number line to show. So he is the number of hours he studies each week. He is studying 2.4 hours each week, at least. At least. So we have the greater than or equal to symbol. So we're going to fill the circle in. And since it's an inequality, we have an arrow. And this little arrow right here is pointing to the right. So we're going to draw our line to the right. Number 3, for questions 3 through 5, write an equation or inequality to represent each situation within the set of positive rational numbers. Then graph the solution on the number line. So number 3 says, 257 students at White House Junior High went on a field trip to Six Flags. 5 buses were equally filled with students, and 17 students traveled by car. Represent S, the number of students on each bus. We are going to be writing an equation because it's equally filled. So we're going to write a two-step equation. So we need to first determine what is our rate. We need to determine what our rate is. And our rate 257 students. That's going to be our total. That's our total. Let's find our rate. Went to Six Flags. 5 buses were equally filled. So 5 is going to be our rate. So we're going to have 5x plus our initial value of 17 equals our total number of students, which is 257. Now we're going to solve our equation. We're going to subtract 17 from both sides. This cancels out. We end up with 5x equals 240. Now we're going to divide by 5. X equals, if you look right here, it already gives you the answer, 48. Okay, we're going to graph that. Since this is an equation, we're not going to have lines going to the right or to the left. We're just going to circle and fill in that dot because there's only one answer. Okay, we found the number of students on each bus. So there were 5 buses with X amount of students plus the 17 who went, which gave us a total of 257 students. So if we plugged 48 in for this X, we would have 5 times 48 plus 17 would equal 257. There were 48 students on each bus. There were not more than 48 students or less than 48 students. There were exactly an equal number of 48 students on each one of those 5 buses. This is why an equation, you only have a little filled in dot on the number line. Let's look at number 4. Cheyenne sells jewelry to raise money for summer camp. She sells earrings for $3 per pair and necklaces for N dollars each. Her jewelry sales total more than, so we have more than, which is going to look like this, $250. Represent N, the amount Cheyenne could charge per necklace if she sells 14 pairs of earrings and 52 necklaces. We know because of the word more than that we're going to write an inequality. We're going to write it the same way we write an equation, but we're going to use the greater than symbol instead of the equal sign. And we know our total sales is more than $250. So we know that 250, and then we're going to put our greater than sign. So our rate is 52 necklaces. So we're going to have 52 X plus 42. So she sells earrings for $3 per pair and necklaces for N dollars each. Her jewelry sells no more than $250. Represent N, the amount Cheyenne could charge per necklace if she sells 14 pairs of earrings and 52 necklaces. This 42 is coming from the earrings. So if we had 14 pairs of earrings for $3 each, 14 pairs of earrings times $3 each, that gives us 42. So she made $42 on earrings. This is the earrings and this is our necklace. We're going to solve by subtracting 42 from both sides. This cancels out. We have 52x is greater than, let's see, we need to borrow here. This becomes 10, so we get 8, 0, 2. And we already know our answer, but we still need to divide both sides by 52. And x is greater than 4. Since we just have the greater than sign, we're going to leave the circle open. And we're going to put our arrow to the right. Number